Melanie again, back for yet another vlog-a-ween tutorial. This one again is not very difficult to do, but it is very time consuming. My hair looks great, right? It is so windy outside today, and I had to go out and get my last little bit of supplies so I could film this for you guys. Speaking of supplies, what you will need is a cardboard tube, and I've already gone ahead and started painting mine so that it can dry in time to finish this tutorial. You can see it's pretty thick. So this is going to be our post for our road sign, and I'm going to show you how I've been painting that. Some twine or some jute cord, hot glue gun, paints in the colors of your choice, paintbrush, and for the road sign I'm just using this big one, but you might want to have a pack of various different ones for the actual signs themselves. So here's an example of one that I've done. And you can see it's got little googly eyes, so optional googly eyes. Also optional is cookie cutters, and I'm just using these as an outline and then I'm filling in details after that. If you are artistically inclined in drawing, you may not want those or need those, so use your good judgment. You will need a piece of scrap cardboard. You will need 4 of these kind of flat beads, and I'm using the same kind of flower beads I used in the last tutorial. And you will also need 4 seed beads, scissors, and fishing line. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I have been painting my pole, my cardboard tube. And so you can see here I've stopped with orange, and I've stopped at the same kind of place where I started the orange. If you can tell, there are cardboard, there's swirls going up. So I'm just going to take, the next color will be black, so I'm going to start here and then I'm going to extend that line up 1 swirl, and then I'll paint that area black. So I've got my black paint ready, and I'm just going to paint along the edge of the orange. I'm going to take the black line and I'm just going to extend it up to the next swirl. So that's my stop line. So I'm going to start painting down here. So we're going to do the same thing with the orange, but before we put the orange on, we're going to put down a coat of white, but the white will help the orange to kind of pop. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw our line. Layer is dry, and it's important to let it dry before you put the orange on, otherwise the orange and the white are going to mix and you're going to end up with more of a yellow color. So I'm just going to take my orange and I'm just going to go over the white layer. Our orange layer, just a little bit left, so I'm gonna finish this off camera and then I'll meet back up with you after that. So for the next part of the project, we're gonna be actually making the sign part of the sign. So what we want to start with is cutting this, and I'm just gonna cut from the corner down on one side and then I kind of want to match the angle on the opposite side. Next, what I want to do is I'm going to take my stencils or freehand or your cookie cutters, and you're going to choose which ones you want to put on your sign. For this one, I want to use the pumpkin, and I'm going to make it into a jack-o'-lantern, and I'm going to use the bat. So I've decided to put the bat on top. I'm going to trace it first. I'll just take my pen and go around the outside. Stenciled in, you can fill in any detail that you like. So for like the pumpkin, I'm going to make it a jack-o'-lantern. Now I need to write out what is in each direction. Here in North Carolina, we actually have Transylvania County, and we also have a bat cave. No relationship to the superhero in the mask. So I'm going to use bat cave for the bat, and then I'm going to write pumpkin patch for the pumpkin in bubble letters. With an arrow going one way, and I've got the pumpkin patch with a arrow going the other direction. We've got my bat and my little pumpkin, and now I'm going to take a very small paintbrush, and I am going to outline everything in black. It's very, very tiny. See how that is going to darken my outline. Now remember, the crazier things that you write on here, the more intricate your lettering is, the harder it's going to be to paint the brown later around all of that. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to finish this off camera, and then I will meet back up with you when I am done for the next step. After you've got all of your things outlined, and you can see I've colored in the mouth and the eyes of my jack-o'-lantern already, go ahead and just start painting whatever colors you like. I'm gonna make my jack-o'-lantern orange, my bat a dark gray. I'll probably match the words with the picture, so dark gray here, orange here. And then after you get all of your things painted, meet back up with me here. Finished painting the words and the pictures on mine, and now I want to give it more of a wood color. So I'm going to take brown paint, and I'm going to paint around the pictures and the words. I'm going to use a big paintbrush for these areas, and then when I get around the words and the pictures, I will use my teeny tiny paintbrush. For example, if I was trying to get inside the P, I would use this little bitty tiny paintbrush. And I know my outline is a little bit messy right now, but once you finish the brown, go back in with your small paintbrush that you did your outline with, and go back over your outline in black. So finish up your brown, touch up your outline. I'm gonna do that too, and I will meet back up with you when it's done for the next step. So I have finished painting mine brown. I don't know how well this is showing up on the camera. I've done all of the little edges around the bat and things, and I will probably go back in and do a little more detailing. I can see on the camera here, this is a little bit lighter than here. But the next step that you want to do is after it's all dry is you want to flip it over and you just want to paint the whole thing with your brown color. So I have finished detailing mine, painted it front and back. I'm going to take my same brown and I've added a touch of black to make it darker. And then I'm going to create some lines going across the sign to kind of represent, make it look a little bit more like an old wooden sign. And this would be like the cracks in the wooden sign. You don't have to do this, it's totally optional. So I'm using my tiny brush for this, and I'm just going to randomly throw in some lines here and there. They don't have to be perfectly straight. Like I said, this is an old wooden sign. It's cracking, maybe it's starting to fall apart at the edges. How many lines you put on your sign is up to you. Use your own good artistic ability. I'm going to let this dry and then put lines on the back of mine. Again, that's also optional. The last thing that I want to do for this sign is I actually am going to put some googly eyes here on my bat. I'm gonna use my hot glue gun to put those on and finish up my lines, and I'll meet back up with you for the next big step. After everything is dry, everything is decorated, googly eyes, you're going to punch a hole in each of your signs that you have made. You can use a nail and a hammer for this. I don't happen to have any nails, so I am using one of my husband's tools that he had in his toolbox. I'm not exactly sure what the name of it is, but I'm gonna put this little bit in here. And then I'm going to take the only hammer that we have, which also happens to somehow be a hatchet. It's a multi-tool. Get your parents' help with this if you are younger. Don't play with hatchets. Use an actual hammer. I just don't have one. Also, be very gentle with this because you don't want to go through whatever surface you are laying your sign on. So that's all the way through. We want, like I said, we want this to be a very small hole. You don't want it to be very big. Basically, you want your little round beads to be able to cover that, and I'll explain why. So I'm gonna finish punching holes in mine, and then I will meet you after that. Okay. So everything is painted, everything is dry. So now we need to attach it to our post. And we're going to be using the jute cord for this. Microphone! Come say hi.
Hi.
Come say hello. Well, I am struggling to get my jute cord out. Help. Okay, got it. Okay. And we need to decide how far down we want to put it, and because I have 4 signs, I'm going to put it pretty far down. And I'm going to put this one on the bottom. So I'm going to start by hot gluing the jute cord in place. And then I'll wrap it a couple of times. Putting hot glue as I go along. I have no idea what that was. Michael, do you want to go check the front door?
風を見て。
Anything there? The wind is blowing like crazy, so I don't know if something blew into the door or what. I've come to the point where I want to put my first sign. So I have cut a small amount of fishing line. You don't need much. And those seed beads that we talked about, you're going to put that on your fishing line, on just through one end. Then you're going to put both ends of your fishing line together and put both ends through your little flower bead. So it looks kind of like this. Take your sign and put both ends of the fishing line through your sign where you punched the hole. And now your sign almost looks like it has a little nail, a decorative nail. We're going to take our cord, and since we're to the place where we want our sign to be, you're going to tie the fishing line around the cord. Make sure you tie this in a good knot so it doesn't come loose. Tied mine 2 or 3 times. I'm gonna snip the ends here, not too close to the knot. And then I'm going to continue with my glue gun, gluing the cord above the other layer that we have put on first. So there's our first sign on the signpost, and it's a little bit crooked. That's perfectly fine. The old signs are kind of like that. I'm going to continue and put on my other 3 signs, and then I will show you what it looks like when it's completed. So meet back up with you in a few minutes. I have wrapped my cord all the way up to the top, putting on each sign as I go, and I put mine on different sides. So I kind of wanted mine to be maybe at a crossroads. But how cute is this? You can do specific ones for a haunted house, or if maybe in a corn maze or something like that. But yep, that's our little road sign. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you make a road sign, please send me a message or a picture. Remember, if you want to see more videos, please hit like and subscribe. You can also see me on Facebook, facebook.com/shiveringshimmy, and I'm also Shivering Shimmy on Twitter and Instagram. I think that's it for me today. I'm hungry, guys. It's time to go eat. This project took all day long. See you next time.